Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I'm so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and see what's coming through for you for your overall energy with this oracle deck. Ooh. Okay, you're going to be getting clarity about your life purpose. Also, I feel like the time that you are entering in, the phase, the era that you're entering in, you're going to be doing things that are clearly supporting your life purpose. You may have felt in the past that you were kind of going back and forth, maybe first and foremost wondering what your life purpose is, wondering what you were supposed to do, what direction you were meant to take. But there will be no more of that. There will be no more self-doubt. You will still ask questions because you're a reflective person. You think before you act. You're wise. But the thoughts that you have about your future and about your present will no longer come from a place of self-doubt, because you're going to be very sure of why you're here and what it is that you're meant to do and how you're meant to do it. And in those times where you don't know which direction to go in, you're always going to remember that you have a connection with the divine, a very deep, intuitive connection. And you're going to pause and you're going to breathe. And you're going to listen for the answer. Divine will bring it through. Okay? So a lot of clarity about your life purpose. Something is going to be revealed to you. I see here, there's a little spot right there where the sunlight is shining through that tree. There's something that's going to be revealed to you that brings a lot of clarity to you. And it's going to be revealed to you very quickly. I didn't say soon. I said quickly. It's going to come through very suddenly. And it's just going to feel like, oh wow. You're going to know. You're going to know. 252 was on the timer when I said that. This could have to do with a change that you're going to experience within a relationship. Some of you are letting go of a toxic situation or a toxic relationship, which is going to allow you to bond so much more with your intuition. And so you are going to receive a lot of revelations. A lot of things are going to be made clear to you because you no longer have that toxic cloud over your judgment, over your intuitive guidance, okay? And for some of you, you are coming into union with someone that just brings clarity. And it's not that you've been waiting around for that. You're doing the work that you've needed to do individually. But for some of you, it is time for you to come into union with someone that will help shed a lot of light on things for you. It's like they complete the puzzle. You complete the puzzle together. There are certain things that you both were meant to do on your individual path, and there are certain things that you are meant to do together once you come into union. So there's nothing missing from your life at this time. It's just that once you come into union, a lot of things will become clearer, and it'll be a really wonderful time of positive movement forward together with someone who has true love for you, okay? You've got inspiration and beauty. So Divine wants to assure you and remind you that you are such a beautiful being. You are filled with so much power, and this power radiates from a place deep inside you. This is like a gem that you've always had access to. You've had it inside you since birth. And this gem, it radiates so brightly from inside you. You could kind of look at it like your solar plexus, because that's related to the sun. So this is like your sunlight, okay? Maybe this is like a really bright citrine crystal, okay? Or your sunshine that just shines so brightly. And even in your darkest days and darkest nights, people around you have been able to see this light that radiates from you. And they've identified it as something beautiful. For some people, they just have misunderstood it. They're like, what is that? I like it, but what is it? And then, you know, sometimes jealousy ensues. You know what I'm saying? There's like either obsession or jealousy, but some people are truly inspired by it. And that's why you've got inspiration. And look at this. It looks kind of like what I was just describing there. What Spirit was describing, okay? It's like the light that you radiate, it can't go unnoticed. And different people react to it differently. But Divine says, please don't allow anybody's negative reaction to your beauty make you think that you're not beautiful. Okay? You're full of power. The word dignity is coming through. You have dignity, and some people have made digs at your dignity. Okay? They've taken stabs at your dignity because they knew that the things that they were saying, the insults that they were throwing at you, were completely wrong. They weren't accurate at all. But they just wanted to see how you would react. They wanted to see if they could take this light away from you. For some of you, you've had a situation where someone has been completely obsessed with this energy that you hold within you, and they've wanted it for themselves. 717 was just on the timer. You radiate the energy of a star. Divine says you are a chosen one in your bloodline. There have been others, but not many. And your ancestors are always consulting, assisting you. They're consulting with one another to help you out. They're coming through to support you because they know the importance that your life has for your entire bloodline. Your life is so important. Some people have wanted to take your light away from you and steal it and keep it for themselves. These are energy vampires. These are any narcissistic people that you have had relationships with. These are any beings that have been truly obsessed with entering your realm, but not contributing any positive energy to your life. Divine says that every single person that you have come in contact with, it has always been your goal to leave a connection or leave a place more beautiful than that it was when you found it. You have always wanted to give good energy. But you've encountered a lot of sharks, a lot of mice, a lot of people who have just wanted to infiltrate your world and bring distractions, toxicity, and they've wanted to keep what you have for themselves without contributing anything to you. They've just wanted to take. They've been takers. You've had a lot of experiences with takers. But now you're attracting givers. Balanced beings who seek to love and receive love as well. This new era that you're entering into is one of reciprocity. It's going to be very different. And I feel like for whoever this reading is for, you're going to know that that's a very good thing. That this new era that you are entering in is going to be very, very different from what you've experienced in the past. Ashe. You're also realizing the beauty of your inner child. That's something that you are embracing more and more, is opportunities to heal your inner child, to go back to any traumatic experiences that you faced, that you dealt with, that you went through as a child, and you're loving yourself through that experience all over again. It's kind of like reliving the past, but with the goal of healing your past self, which also heals your present self, because time doesn't really exist, right? So as you heal your past self, you're also healing your present self. You're healing all of yourselves across all timelines, all realms, all dimensions, okay? Nice. Nice. I'm gonna pull one of these before I get into the tarot. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, you got some really beautiful things coming. You're attracting a lot of beautiful things because of the work that you've been doing. And Divine wants you to know that this is an era where you are doing things out of self-love. In the past, you may have done things out of a sense of obligation. And sometimes we do that, you know, in order to support someone that we love. But I feel like there was a pattern of constantly making choices out of a sense of obligation and duty for other people. Now it's time for you to love on you. The choices that you make now are going to be out of self-love. And you're going to find that because you're so high vibe, the choices that you make out of self-love are also going to benefit the people that you love. Okay? Because you've got different people around you now. No more toxic attachments. We're not doing that anymore. Okay? So you're living out of a place of self-love, which is also going to be the energy that other people around you that you love, that you have a true connection with, are going to benefit from. Self-love is not selfish. It is not selfish. Self-love is love for the divine. Okay? And so it's always right to make a choice out of self-love. I'm telling you. A specific situation is coming through. I'm going to share it, okay? Because I'm just doing what Spirit says. But somebody needs to hear this. There may be a choice that you have made over and over again for the sake of your children. Now use your discernment, okay? But what I'm getting is that there may be someone who is contemplating whether or not to remain in a relationship where there has been abuse, where there has been harm done to you, okay? Whether it is physical, verbal, or emotional, or a mixture of any of the above. You may have decided to stay in that relationship for your children. This is a very specific message. Divine is saying, please consider the fact that allowing your children to see you harmed harms them. Your children need to see you happy, healthy, and safe. And so if there's a choice that you've been making because you are afraid of disappointing someone or afraid of letting someone down because you want to provide a perfect family or perfect image to them, please know that anyone who loves you wants to see you healthy and safe. Okay, so that comes back to making those choices out of self-love. I don't know who that's for, but it's for somebody. Okay? Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have for this beautiful being? These cards are a little sticky because they're brand new. Appreciation. Divine and your ancestors appreciate you, beautiful being. They see you and they appreciate your effort that you give in all aspects of your life. They appreciate the effort that you give to yourself. They appreciate the effort that you give to your home. If you have children, They appreciate your effort to live consciously. There are so many people who walk around making choices just because, doing things just because, 15-15 on the timer. These are people who make choices out of selfishness. And because of that, their choices are selfish and they make negative change. They create negative change for themselves and for people around them. They create chaos. Divine says you are a very mindful being. It's never been your goal to live in regret. So you make choices with the hope of doing what's right and what's best. You may have been feeling a lack of appreciation from someone. This could be someone that you have given to. You've given them a lot of your time, a lot of your energy. You've given a lot of hope for what could come about between you. This could be a relationship. And this could be a relationship with a work situation. It could be a relationship with a family member, a lover, a friend. But there's something that you had hope for. You invested in this connection or in this situation, and you found that you have just not gotten your energy's worth out of it. You know how we say, I didn't get my money's worth? You didn't get your energy's worth out of this. You may have noticed that as you gave and gave and gave more and more to this situation or this relationship, that you became more and more frustrated because you experienced disappointment, potentially abuse or abusive treatment, harmful treatment. You were not given anything comparable to what you gave. And you have clarity about this now. I'm seeing cycles. I'm seeing that there were like cycles of towers. Particularly if this is something that has been ongoing over years, a period of years or more. Could have been decades. And you reflect back on it, on the cycles within this situation or this relationship, and you realize just how many things went wrong. You realize just how many chances you gave and just how much hope you invested in this situation. And now you are choosing to move towards situations where you are appreciated. Connections in which you feel appreciated. Where there's reciprocity, acceptance, and where you're truly heard and honored. Because you deserve to feel that appreciation. Thank you, Spirit. Please show this beautiful being's current situation or conflict for whatever it is that they need to know at this time, Divine. Thank you, Spirit. One more. You're so courageous. I see your courage. I see it. Okay, you've got Six of Swords. You have chosen your freedom. You got the Six of Swords, Warrior of Wands, Five of Swords, Freedom, which is the Chariot, Spirit of Wands, and Nine of Wands. So first of all, you've got a lot of fire energy supporting you. You have a lot of courage, passion, and it's your will that's pushing you forward. It's your will. It's your focus on what it is that you know that you deserve. You may have been told by multiple people what they thought you deserved, what they thought that you should do. What's coming through is that some people have told you that you should remain in a very toxic situation or a very toxic relationship. Now, not everybody does this out of spite. Sometimes they do it because that's what they chose to do. They chose to stick around when they should have left in order to protect themselves or in order to have access to the life that they truly deserved, but they didn't. And so they gave you the advice that they took for themselves in the past. I feel like something like that is at play here for some of you. You may have received advice from someone telling you to remain in a situation that you definitely need to free yourself from. And that may be one reason why you've stayed throughout some toxic cycles, okay? But with the Chariot here, you're choosing your freedom. With the Six of Swords, you're making a journey towards calmer waters because you know you deserve it. You're tired of being in that canoe with those crazy ass waves and crazy current and flipping upside down, and you're not doing that anymore. And you learn something through that. You gain strength. You learned how to navigate those choppy waters. But that's not where you deserve to live. That shouldn't be your normal space. You might feel like you're alone on this journey. She doesn't have a posse. She doesn't have a clique. But she does have the divine. She does have the strength of her mind. And in the other cards, we can see that she also has the strength of her will, which will never let her down. She's reminding herself that she has free will, that her life doesn't have to be like what someone else has determined that it should be. Which, by the way, is not what she deserves. She deserves so much more. Let me turn my fan on. I forgot to earlier. I get hot on channeling. Things have gotten hot. They've been heating up with whatever process it is or whatever part of the process it is that you are in right now of ensuring your freedom, moving towards your freedom. You may have experienced some friction, something that was trying to slow you down, some sort of slowdown, like in a traffic jam. You know, you're in your Chariot, you're ready to go. But beep beep, we got stoplights, we got some traffic jams, you know, we got people crossing in front of your path. But this is what's coming through. Every time you move beyond an obstacle on your path to freedom, Divine will clear the way even more for you and bestow upon you so many blessings. You're going to see that. Because this change that you're making towards your freedom, whether it's leaving a job that's toxic or leaving a relationship that's toxic or making a move that you know is for you, maybe beginning something, starting something, a business. Every time you move closer to doing what it is that you've been guided to do, Divine will bless you so much. And allow those times where you experience that way that's just cleared, like when things are just like, it's like the parting of the Red Sea, you know? It's like where it seems so impossible, and then there's just divine intervention. You're like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? And then bam, a miracle happens. Because when you move in the right direction, divine supports you. And that's the beauty of no longer fighting your destiny. Because this is not about just doing something great for yourself, which that's wonderful, but this is about choosing your destiny. Choosing the reason why you were born into this life. Choosing to align with that. Divine will support you infinitely when you do that. All right, you've got Warrior of Wands. Divine says you have all the tools that you need to move forward. Yes, there will be times where you have to fight. But when you do, when you push forward, like I said, you're going to notice that the way just clears for you. And then you move forward and you take the steps that you need to. And sometimes on your journey, once the way is cleared for you, you move forward and then you have to rest. You know, you're not constantly moving because we need balance, we need rest, right? You have to rest your spirit. You have to allow your soul to rest sometimes. But you have the fire that you need to push through whatever obstacle it is. Whatever someone was trying to do to slow you down, or whatever just seemed to kind of happen, and maybe it's just a little test. But whatever it is, you're going to be able to move through it. You got the Five of Swords here. And this is letting you know that, yes, see, that's what the Warrior of Wands is moving through, is that conflict. And it's conflict that you observe around you that could, if you allowed it to, could impact your thoughts. When you see that there's something slowing you down on your path, whether it's something that was initially denied, maybe you applied for something and it was denied, or maybe you had a talk with someone and they didn't give you the results or the information that you needed. Now you got to talk to somebody else. You know, anytime you experience some conflict or a letdown, please don't allow that to make you doubt your journey or your destiny. Know that that is just some conflict that you do have the power to move through. You have the power to move beyond it. Okay, so with the Five of Swords, you got your sword to whip through. And your sword really is your thoughts. It's your communication. Divine will give you the words that you need in order to move through conflict. Just remember that conflict is temporary. And where there's a plan A, there will also be a plan B. We can come up with plan C, D, E, F, G. How many plans we need. But there is a solution for whatever temporary problem you're experiencing. Okay? Yeah, the Chariot, that is the only major arcana here. So that's your vibe. That's what this is all about. This is about you having the will and the determination to move forward, and also realizing that you have free will. I feel like that's what all these cycles that I've been seeing in your past, where it's like you've almost, I don't want to say that you've been trained, okay, because it's not like that, okay? You have power, all right? But in these toxic cycles, it's almost as if you got into a routine or pattern of thinking that you didn't have free will. You thought for whatever reason you had to stay in whatever rut you were in. Maybe there was a fear about something related to retirement, and that's why you didn't leave a toxic work situation. Or maybe there was a worry about you know, having to redo your resume. Sometimes it's just something like that that gets stuck in our head, and we're like, no, I can't do this. I'm too busy. I've got too much to do. It could have been a partner that was telling you that you had to stay in a relationship. Maybe someone was very controlling. Maybe you stayed, like it came through before, for the kids. Whatever reason it was that you remained in a toxic cycle, Divine is saying that now, this is your gift. Realizing that you have free will and you have the ability to push through all of those thoughts, and beliefs that stagnated your progress, that kept you stuck. You don't have to be there anymore. You got the Spirit of Wands here. This is like, well, this isn't all feminine deck, but it would be the King of Wands, okay? So not only do you have Knight of Wands, but you've got King of Wands. So you've got fire energy on multiple levels where you can get in there and fight if you need to. I'm not talking about physically, but fight if you need to. Fight through the conflict with your will, with your passion, okay? And also, you have the vision that you need to carry you through. The King of Wands is a visionary. And he has the passion and the heat that's needed to bring fire to a project. To make sure that whatever needs to be burned down is burned down. Whatever needs to be built gets built. He's not afraid. The King of Wands is not afraid. And you are fearless. Now that doesn't mean that you won't ever feel fear, but you don't allow it to stop you. That's what makes you fearless. Being fearless doesn't mean you don't feel the fear. It means that you don't let it stop you. Okay? So you're the King of Wands or Queen of Wands. Okay? And then the Nine of Wands, because in every change that we have to make, there has to be bravery. There has to be courage. There has to be a willingness to protect ourselves. But I like this Nine of Wands because in the traditional tarot, they're like standing there with a wand and they're kind of looking like, who gonna mess with me? You know, it's like they're kind of ready to fight or protect themselves, but she chilling. She knows she's protected. She doesn't have to stand on guard because she knows that divine is guarding her, guiding her and protecting her. She knows her boundaries very clearly and she's confident in that. So as she is protected and as she protects herself, she can also relax. She can also breathe. So divine is saying that through this process, there's no need to feel like you can't enjoy your life. I feel like this is a major change that you're going through at this time. Whether it's a home change, a move, or a job change, or a major change to your relationship status. And a lot of times when people go through situations like that, these major life changes, they're very stressed out. I mean, I know I've been there. I've gone through major life changes and I did not handle it in a way that was calm and peaceful. But I've learned so much over the years and I've realized that you can go through something difficult and still enjoy your life. You can. And that's something that I'm committed to doing now that I didn't do in my youth. And so please know that no matter what it is that you're experiencing right now, a lot of people might label it as stressful or even traumatic. But you can find ways to create peace for yourself, even through this major change. And more importantly, you can take time to receive the peace that divine has for you. One thing that's coming through with this Five of Swords here, you know, usually in the traditional tarot, there's an image of like multiple people, right? This is a very solitary deck. So even in the Lovers, it's only one person, which to me that carries a whole meaning too. It's like preparing yourself for the love that you will experience, which is so important too, you know? Preparing for that union. But usually there are more people in the Five of Swords because it's about conflict, competition. If there is someone who is trying to get your attention with negativity, toxic energy, maybe throwing insults your way or making little digs, do not allow them to access your energy. You can calmly set a boundary when you're ready, but do not allow anyone to take you out of your peaceful state. Because there are some people who just want to do that. They don't know how to soothe themselves. They don't know how to reassure themselves of their importance here in the universe, okay? So they try to siphon other people's energy in order to get that reassurance that, oh yeah, I'm important because I could make her upset. I'm important because I could ruin her day. I mean, they might not think about it or plan it out so consciously. Typically, people who do this kind of stuff, they're very unconscious. They're like walking zombies. They just, well, zombies can walk. They walk around like zombies, just doing things because they don't have the awareness that's needed to make better choices. Okay? So stay in your peace. Stay in your peace, no matter what. Okay? With that Five of Swords there, I do want to pull some other cards to see and get some clarity. I really want to pull from this Energies of Affliction deck and just see what might be coming through there as far as any conflict that someone might be sending your way or that you might be experiencing on this journey, on this path. Thank you, Divine. Ritual of Torment. A ceremony designed to bring physical or emotional pain to the victim, often lasting for an extended period to break their will. Remember, we were talking about will? You are the Chariot. There's someone who has wanted to break your will. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that this was a ritual that was done or a ceremony, okay? But with their words, with their actions, there's someone who has wanted to break your will. And I feel like this is because of that light that they see in you. They really truly feel like if they can get to you, that they're really important, they're significant, because they won. This is truly an energy of competition. Ritual of Broken Spirits. Dark ceremonies aimed at destroying a person's sense of self, leaving them emotionally shattered or spiritually disconnected. So there's someone who is trying to get between you and your ancestors, your spirit allies, the divine. They did not want you in touch and in tune with your divine energy because they know the power of that. And also an attachment to the past. The inability to move on due to past trauma, regret, or emotional pain that continues to influence decisions and growth. And that's what has been coming through to me this whole reading, is that there are choices that you've made perhaps for other people because you would have regretted not being there for them, or not creating the perfect situation for them, or not holding things together for them. You felt like you had to keep everything together. But in those moments, it's important to remember that your loyalty must lie with yourself. And that's not to be selfish. True self-love is never selfish. Yeah. Freedom. Freedom, freedom. There's a song that Beyonce sings. It's kind of in my head. I don't know it very well, but it came to me when I was putting my makeup on. I was like, I need to listen to that song, and I didn't listen to it. There might be something in that song for you. I don't know. I think it's called Freedom. So there might be something there for you. Yeah. Divine wants you to know that this is a part of your spiritual path, where you truly value your freedom and your free will and your willingness to put yourself first in order to ensure that you are protected. I feel like because of some of the conditioning, the programming that you went through, you felt that even as you were either attacked or tormented or mistreated, disrespected. You felt a sense of loyalty to whatever it was that was subjecting you, or whoever it was that was subjecting you to that treatment. You felt that you had to be loyal to that. You know, this happens a lot of times within religion, where people feel that it's a sin to divorce. Well, if you can avoid a divorce, yes, please avoid it. But if you are constantly mistreated, or you are not honored, or you're not content in the situation because of choices that are made incessantly over and over again, then you need to do what's right for you. But a lot of us grew up with these pressures put on us. Or perhaps if you were in a social circle, maybe you felt like that's coming through as well. Like maybe you have people around you who are partnered, and you didn't want to face being the only one who wasn't partnered. Do what you need to do for you. Do what you need to do for you. Because a whole lot of people are unhappy. 4114. Mirroring. I think I saw that number in the last reading. There could be somebody around you going through these same concerns, or having these same concerns. And that's so beautiful that it came through as I was talking about, like, feeling like you're not fitting in. Someone around you might have these same exact concerns. And that's why it's so important to live according to your divine truth. Because as you do what is truly right for you, other people are inspired. And they are inspired to live according to their divine truth. And it's a beautiful chain of events. It's a beautiful process where we can impact and influence one another in a positive way. Yeah. I'm going to pull some cards from the Divine Feminine, and more than likely the Divine Masculine deck as well. Since I have both of them, I had lost the Divine Masculine. It was gone for like almost a year. I was like, where's my Divine Masculine? And I found it. Thank you, Spirit. So I'll pull from both. Divine, what do you have from this deck for this beautiful being? We've got passion, assertive, spirituality, clarity. Your passion is being awakened. And this isn't just for the Divine Feminine. This is for whoever this message is for. Your passion is being ignited, or I feel like it's reignited. Reignited. All these wands. You had Knight of Wands, King of Wands. It was time to reawaken some passion. And so that's one thing that you're doing. This isn't just physical passion. This isn't just sexual passion. Although I feel like that's definitely relevant here. You may have been in a situation where it was just cold. Like you've got heat. And so you're coming into an era where there is someone who will rise to your level of energy. There will be a lot of compatibility, a lot of passion, intense in the best way. And it's going to reawaken, because you have been awakened in this way, like, right? But I feel like things just have been cold. What I'm getting is that there wasn't an emotional connection, and so that has impacted the physical connection. Because for awakened beings, there's not just sex. There is spirituality, sex, intimacy, okay? All of these things are intertwined. You're going to have situations where you will be assertive, and that may be something that you shied away from or avoided in the past. But it's time for your voice to be heard. You know yourself very well now because you've been through a lot of toxic cycles, and so you know what it is that you want. Divine says speak up. Assert yourself. You're able to do that calmly. You're able to do that with the reassurance that you know what you're talking about. And you can stand on business. Okay? Yeah. Standing up for oneself in a calm and positive way. But also in a way where they know you're not to be played with. You know? You don't have to raise your voice to be assertive. I know you know that. I just don't like to see anybody get stressed out. You know? It's like putting your foot down does not have to require you raising your blood pressure. Okay? It's not worth it. Say what you need to say. Be confident. And let that be that. If a person wants to have a fit over it, that's on them. You know what I mean? Alright, you've got spirituality and clarity. This is the second card for clarity that came out. It's really that time where you are clear on so many things. It's like because you're making this drastic change in your life, which is very, very necessary. What's coming through is that for some of you, this change that you're making will save your life. For some of you, the change that you're making, whether it's that you're changing jobs or you're quitting a job and doing something else, or you are leaving a toxic relationship, for some of you, by doing this, you are adding years to your life. Because between the stress or the harm that was being done to you, it would have taken you down. That's how important it is for you to remain dedicated to what you know is right for you on your path. And because you're doing this, like I said, it's like where you have an obstacle. You're like, how do I cross this river, this sea? And then as soon as you put your mind to it and you take that next step, just that next step that divine is requiring of you, the sea is parted. And then you move through. And you journey forward. And then you rest. And then you journey forward. And then you come into another situation where you need divine intervention. But you at least take that next step. And divine will always meet you there. Always, always, every time. If this is for your destiny, for your divine destiny, and you are aligned, you'll always notice that. Divine will always meet you. Okay, let's get some cards for the Divine Masculine. But you know, we all have all these energies within us, so. Thank you, Divine. What messages do they need from this deck? Yeah, no more clouded judgment. That's funny because the smoke picked up for the incense. I've been here like, I love it though, but this is an end to clouded thinking. Yeah, it's funny because clarity came through twice, and then you've got clouded here. So that could be an obstacle. Somebody, 4848, somebody has been trying to cloud your thinking, and I feel like this is especially a message for the Divine Masculine. There's someone who has been trying to cloud your judgment. They wanted you to make poor decisions, decisions that were in their best interest and not in yours. They wanted you to make choices that were not in alignment with what you know is divine. This could be regarding money, this could be regarding children, this could be regarding a home. And within a work environment, this could be related to a project, how you're moving forward with a project, or with the structuring of a company, the way it's structured. Or with your career choice. There may be someone who's been in your head about what you should be doing for work. You know you best. You know you best. Yeah, this person wanted you to have poor concentration and to just feel like you were walking around in a fog. Also, they didn't want you to have your own identity. They wanted you to feel like a number. And yet, you're a whole divine being. But they wanted you to feel like just another one, you know? You're loyal. And that's one thing that makes you so powerful, is that you're loyal. So what that means is that when you're in the right connection, when you're around the right people, when you're in the right environment that's truly meant for you, this is a strength. But it's very possible that someone has been using your loyalty against you, making you think that you needed to be loyal to the wrong person or to the wrong mission or to the wrong thing. So your loyalty is definitely a strength, but you should be loyal to people who are also loyal to you. We just had 51:15 on the timer. Mirroring. There's somebody around you that has been loyal to the wrong people as well. So your act of being loyal, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, who are you being loyal to? What cause are you being loyal to? What mission? Yeah. Okay, they said that's all for that. Let me get some Lilith cards. Thank you, Spirit. What else does this beautiful being need to know? Oh yeah, hey, we had spirituality come out for the Divine Masculine too. Look! Oh my God! So look, that came out for both Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. Listen, there is a connection here between a masculine and a feminine, and you are both divine. Also, there were two numbers that I saw, 4114 and 5115, that were mirrored, okay? There's a lot of mirroring going on because you have ascended so high. You've done so much work. And so because you're in on a different level, you're in a whole different realm now. You are attracting something, someone, things and people that are so right for you. And so with this transformation that you're going through, this transition, this change, you're going to notice that things just start to align for you. Things that were so difficult in the past, you're not having to deal with that anymore. It's just about getting through these obstacles that are temporary. Your third eye, Divine says to tune into healing frequencies for your third eye so that you don't have this clouded thinking, okay? You're intentionally seeing things with clarity. And you're choosing to see things as they are. You're choosing to radically accept reality. Not bending things or seeing things differently so that it appears as what you want it to be, what you wish it were, but really taking people for who they really are. Realizing that love is a verb. Realizing that the way that someone speaks to you matters. Whether or not a lover honors you matters. Yeah, there might be a temptation to hide behind a mask in order to protect something or someone that's coming through. Divine says to speak your truth. I think that's the second time this has come through. Speak your truth, beautiful being, and don't be ashamed to do that. Because there's someone who does not want you to identify or acknowledge or even less speak the truth. They don't want you to speak the truth. They don't even want you to identify with what it is that you really want. That's why there's been this clouded thinking as a result of manipulation by other people. I'll take them. Okay, there might be distance between you and someone, a retreat or a time out. I feel like this is distance that's needed between you and whatever it is that's no longer meant for you. This could be a person, or this could be a situation, an environment. Okay? Forming, structure, solid foundation. You don't have to worry about what comes next, because as you leave what's no longer for you, you are building something on a solid foundation. And that solid foundation is the work that you've done to grow. It's your gifts. It's the acknowledgement and the realization that you have these gifts. A long time ago, you may have just felt different, but you didn't know what your gifts were. Now you have so much more awareness of who you are and of why you're here. Your purpose is becoming clearer to you. And so that's a part of that solid foundation that you're building. But you also have water here. So you've got masculine energy with the earth and these rocks, but you've got feminine energy with your intuitive flow and the guidance that you receive from the divine. So all of this helps you to form a solid foundation for your new beginning. Autumn, harvest. So in the northern hemisphere now, we're in autumn. This is about realizing that even though some things you're letting go of, you've also been building and nurturing. So you will have harvest. You will have beautiful things that you reap. Okay? And this is coming to you during this season. There might be someone that you're dealing with that has tried to avoid taking accountability or avoid having difficult discussions that need to be had, and they've tried to create a stalemate. This is just because they don't want to support you on your journey of letting go, because somehow that shakes up their world. Okay? For some of you, this is a boss that you need to have a discussion with about how your work situation is going to change, and some things that you have been asserting yourself in order to manifest within your career. For some of you, this is within a relationship that you are separating from. But whatever it is, this person cannot continue to avoid the inevitable. They can try, and it will hurt them. 57:57 on the timer. Self-worth, expectations, and growth. One of the main ways that you're benefiting from this change is that you are reaffirming for yourself with every step forward that you make that you are worth it. You're reminding yourself why you're doing this, why you're making this change. It's because you deserve the very best, because you give the very best, beautiful being. You deserve the best because you give the best. And it's only when you free yourself from those toxic attachments that you can make room to manifest what you truly deserve. Yeah, this says growth, summer. So during the next summer, you're going to notice what's coming through. Divine is saying you won't even recognize your life by next summer. It's going to be so peaceful, and it's going to be so different in a beautiful way, because a lot of the manifestations that you have been working towards are going to blossom. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, I'm going to close with a Shaman's Dream Oracle. I'm feeling that. You know what? I do want to pull a couple career cards, because that kept coming through. Okay, the people you spend the most time with shape who you are. I wish that weren't true, but you know, it's like your energy is so intertwined with the people that you're around that it does happen. And when you're, okay, so this could be relevant for somebody in a work situation. Like, okay, you're not fitting together, like you just don't gel. You might be around some people right now that you just don't gel with. Your energies are not compatible, and you feel like you're having to work so hard to reach a conclusion about something. Yeah. That's why you're making changes. Because you shouldn't stay in a situation like that. It's very difficult. It drains your energy when you are constantly around either energy vampires or people who think completely differently from how you do. And it's okay to be around people who are different, because that can enrich our lives and it give us different perspectives and different points of view. It can actually be really good if it's complementary. You don't have to be the same as someone, you just have to complement each other. But I feel like what's coming through here is that the people that you have been around have been antagonistic, they've been selfish, they've been toxic, and that is not what is meant for you to deal with day in and day out, constantly on your divine path. And that's why divine is bringing you to make these changes. Okay? Thank you, Spirit. What messages do you have for this beautiful being from this career deck? Yeah, we've got, you might be going through some growing pains right now because you're making choices that require you to make some changes. You may have been settled into a certain situation or work environment that you just kind of made do with. But because you're growing and you're allowing these opportunities for growth to happen in your life, it does require change. Okay? It says it's time to step into your own power. Avoid depending on someone else's income. You have all the skills to make your own. Now, there's nothing wrong with being provided for, but I feel like this is an opportunity for you to achieve your maximum potential, to tap into your maximum potential for earning your income. And if you have someone who wants to provide for you, that's absolutely fine. Okay? But divine is saying to not allow what you do to only go this far, if you can go even further, because you're depending on someone else. Okay? I want to make that clear. There's nothing wrong with having someone provide for you or being provided by someone if they do it out of love and genuine care. But divine is just saying to realize your full potential, whether someone is providing for you or not. And that's going to give you so much enjoyment, knowing that you're doing what you want to do and that you're earning money in the way that makes you happy doing it. Okay? Well, this one came out again. That must have been the right one. All right, so you're creating opportunities for you to be around people that inspire you. Or if you are around people that don't inspire you and that work against you, you're making changes, manifesting changes, so that you no longer have to contend with that. Because that's a miserable feeling. Anything else from this deck, Divine? Okay, prudence. Alright, so this is a reminder about debt. Try to decrease your debt if you have any. Okay? Spend your money wisely and prudently. Oh, this is something I was thinking about the other day. So since the season just changed recently, you know, I know for like people who are into fashion and home decor, they always get you, retail always gets you with, you know, adding to your wardrobe, your fall wardrobe. Or in the spring, it's your spring wardrobe, especially if you live in an area where there's 4 seasons. It's like, oh, what's new on the shelves? What's new in the stores? What should I look at now? I need this, I need that. Do you need it? One thing that I've been doing is going through the clothes that I have and taking inventory at the turn of each season like that, so that I can remember what I have, Because before, when I used to shop a lot, I would buy repeat things because they had been stored away. If I didn't wear, you know, a pair of boots, I just put them away. And then I forgot I had them and I buy some just like it. So be careful with that, because a lot of times the changes of the season, they really do try to get you like that. The stores and the online shops and all of that. Okay. Yeah, Divine says stay within budget and live within your means. Okay. So that can be easier said than done when you've got a lot of things to purchase, or the list of things that you need is very long, but it can definitely help to go through whatever list of expenses you have and ask yourself what is absolutely necessary and what can wait until I can put it in the budget. Okay. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, I have been meaning to share that because it came through a couple times about the seasons. You know, getting your fall sweaters and oh my gosh, and a lot of the Halloween decor. Oh, it's so cute, but I had a budget and I stayed in it. Ashe. All right. Thank you, Divine. What message do you have for this beautiful being? Closing door, completion. I feel like this is absolutely perfect for this message because there's definitely something that has come to an end. There's something that you have, you're closing the door to a cycle that needed to be closed. Thank you, Spirit. Endings, completion, your greater calling. When the closing door shows up, it's a call to recognize an ending, to terminate a relationship, job, task, or situation that has been dragging on far too long. Unlock the cage you have been trapped in and shut the door behind you. This is not the time to worry about what others might think or feel. Instead, break with routine, consider what you think and how you feel, and be true to your heart's calling. It's time to walk out the door. If you do not see a door but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. Remember, that's the parting of the Red Sea. Divine will meet you when you need assistance, okay? Muster the courage to say, no more. Remember as well that no one else needs to be, quote unquote, wrong in order for you to do what you've known you needed to do for a long time. Yeah, there might not be a big bad wolf in this story. There might not be a really terrible, evil villain. You're just doing what you know you need to do. If the door to a project or relationship has been closed to you, stop knocking on it. You have tried that already, and no one answered, at least not in the way that you would have liked. Take this as a gift, difficult and painful as it might be. Move on. Every door that shuts is an invitation to find another way, another path to your destination. Better to recognize this earlier rather than later. And even if you're recognizing this later, that's okay. Okay? It's never too late to make a change. How many of us leave a relationship or job years after we knew it was time to move on? Exactly. Stop wallowing in the pain and lingering on the reasons why things did not work. It is keeping you from your greater calling. Bow deeply before that closed door. Give thanks to the lessons and set yourself free. Freedom, freedom. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna have to listen to that song. It's been so long since I've heard it. So I hope the lyrics are relevant. But I've been hearing it since about an hour before I started recording. So I'm gonna check it out. Beautiful being, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you tuned in. I hope that these messages brought you comfort and clarity and good vibes. I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and I wish you peace. I wish you joy, and I wish you so many blessings. Take care.